God, it drives me crazy. Oh my God, I hate it. Like, say the thing you're trying to say. Stop being so fucking vague about it, where you're moving your mouth, but nothing's actually coming out. Oh God. You have to make tough decisions. Sometimes you got to be an anti-hero. Sometimes you got to draw firm lines. It's like, you're not saying anything. Say something.
Andrew Tate, to me, one of the most loathsome figures in our current culture, has said that he might be the Prime Minister of England one day. And with the crazy reality that we have right now, I wouldn't be surprised if that would happen. Kyle Kulinski broke all this down on Secular Talk. This is a really entertaining one, and I wanted to get into this and give my thoughts on this. Let's check this out together.
All right, y'all. So my jaw was on the floor learning about this one. I'm sure you all know who Andrew Tate is. He's the manosphere guru. He's also been charged with a variety of crimes, including grape and including human lex trafficking. I'm trying to keep this video monetized. I don't know if it's going to be possible, but you get the point. Well, anyway, he and his brother did this announcement here. Number one, they're launching their own political party, which they'll talk about. But number two, Andrew wants to be Prime Minister of the UK. Okay, let's listen, and then I'll break it down further for you. Here we go.
It is our intention to become political figures inside of the United Kingdom, and I will be aiming to be Prime Minister to fix the mess. And I want to make something clear to everybody who is watching this, especially the political establishment, which I know is watching this show right now.
Okay, let me just say, we've now shit the bed and jumped the shark with the term establishment. It's time to retire the word establishment. Because you have these just absolutely satanic, cretinous figures who use it to try to whip people up on their side, right? You could have, like, the devil himself is like, I'm anti-establishment, and people sort of shut their brains off and they go, I hate the establishment, so I agree with the devil. Like, that's sort of what's going on now, right? It's time to retire the word establishment. It's too amorphous, it's too vague, and it's used by bad actors. It's used by establishment actors to virtue signal like they are anti-establishment when they often are the establishment. Think of Donald Trump, for example. Elon Musk, the world's richest robber baron. They posture like they're anti-establishment. It's time to retire the word establishment. It just is. Because this ain't working anymore. People are using all sorts of dirty tricks, all sorts of sleazy maneuvers to try to make people shut their mind off and think like, oh, I hate the establishment, and so does Hitler, so maybe Hitler's based. Like, that's sort of where people are now. All right, let's keep going.
I am being absolutely serious. You are corrupt and you have failed people generationally. London should be the greatest city in the world. Great Britain was once the greatest place anyone could possibly live. We had a strong and proud people, and the generational failure.
By the way, take note, this will be proven in a second, but he's reading all this. He's trying to make it look like he's shooting from the hip. He's not. He's reading it.
That the constituents of the UK have been forced to endure is legendarily terrible. It's absolutely disgusting what has happened to that country, and it seems that nobody is interested in doing the things which must be done to fix it. Sometimes to be a bad guy, you have to be a bad guy. Sometimes you have to be an anti-hero. Tough decisions must be made.
I hate it when people say something, but they're not saying anything. God, it drives me crazy. Oh my God, I hate it. Like, say the thing you're trying to say. Stop being so fucking vague about it, where you're moving your mouth, but nothing's actually coming out. Oh, God. You have to make tough decisions. Sometimes you got to be an anti-hero. Sometimes you got to draw firm lines. It's like, you're not saying anything. Say something. God, I hate it so much. If I ever ran for office, I'd be the only person to ever actually tell people exactly what I want to do. Right? Yeah, we're going to do universal health care, Medicare for all. We're going to do social security check for all. We're going to do 4-day work week. We're going to do right to join a union. We're going to get money out of the political system and do what's called clean elections by giving people $100 or $200 voucher every election, and no more oligarchs buying politicians, etc. I'd be the only person to ever be like, here's actually what I'm going to do. None of this vague fucking flowery bullshit where you're saying nothing.
Firm, hard lines must be drawn, and I can't seem to find faith in any other political party which is truly interested in doing what is required. Therefore, I will do it myself.
What's required? You still haven't said anything.
For everybody who is mocking this attempt for me to become the Prime Minister, please understand, I'm a wealthy person with 50 years of life left. the chance of me being prime minister, considering I was the most Googled man alive, sometime before I die, is actually very high.
You know, I would like to mock this point. I would like to mock him for this point. But let's be honest. There are no more political rules. There just aren't. Like, nobody knows what's going to happen when it comes to politics anywhere in the world. You know, with Trump in 2015 and 2016, with his win, everything's out the window. Everything you thought you knew about what to say, how to get elected, what line to walk, etc. It's all done. It's all over. Anybody can win at any time. And I would love to sit here and mock Andrew Tate and say there's literally a 0% chance of him winning. Is there? Now,
and Kyle Kulinski's right about this, sadly. I think all it really takes is to be rich and well known enough to possibly win an election. The thing there is that Trump is very unique. Not everybody can Trump the way Trump can. So he has a unique ability to have just everything roll off of him. He can say anything and there are no real consequences for that. I don't know that, just any rich, famous person can do that. But I do think this is something that the Democratic Party in the United States has missed the boat on, is how important name recognition is. If we look at our past few elections, before Joe Biden dropped out and it was Kamala Harris, we had Trump versus Biden, Trump versus Biden, Trump versus Hillary. You're talking about three of the most well-known people, certainly in the United States, but also in the entire world there. And some of it just comes down to a name that people recognize when it's the United States and most people aren't paying that close attention to politics. Even Kamala Harris, I don't know that they really got the general populace up to speed enough on who Kamala Harris was. The other thing that I'd like to say for people in the UK, what is Andrew Tate's accent? Is this some kind of construct by him, or is this an actual accent that people in the UK have? Because he doesn't really sound like, I think he's, lived, I guess he was in Romania and all that where he got arrested. But so he hasn't always lived in the UK, I guess. But is this some mixture of different accents? Let me know in the comments about this because I don't get it.
Now, I will say this. The UK is genuinely and sincerely, their voters are genuinely and sincerely better in many respects than ours are in the US. It pains me to say, but it's true. It really does. For example, Elon Musk. I mean, he's plummeted in terms of favorability. There was a time when he was way over water because people think of him as, this billionaire who gets things done. He's plummeted, but he's still maybe -5 or -10 in favorability now. So almost a wash, almost dead even. In the UK, Elon Musk has a 15% approval rating or 20% approval rating. So I don't know what it is, but they seem to be a little better at spotting bullshit over there. Just a little bit better. In the US, I think if you go issue for issue, people generally have good instincts and they want to do the right thing, like higher minimum wage and things of that nature, legalizing weed, etc. But as soon as you get partisan narratives involved, people's brains sort of fall apart. I think there's a default belief in meritocracy in the US where it doesn't exist. If anything, we're more like an anti-meritocracy than a true meritocracy. And I think in the UK, they are a little smarter. The guys, UK, make me proud. I want this motherfucker to get, I want him to get 0%, but let's say less than 5%, right? Okay, let's keep going.
And I will leave a legacy of flawless governance. Flawless.
I like that Andrew Tate's brother has to come in and help him with the word.
Governance. Beautiful. I will leave a legacy of flawless governance.
Did he just say governance the second time? What the fuck? I told you he was reading it. This is not, hey, I'm shooting from the hip, telling you what I think, pouring my heart out. No, he's reading this shit. He's reading it. Listen again. You don't know the word governance? Here we go.
Leave a legacy of flawless governance. Flawless governance.
Okay, I can't take any more of Andrew Tate and his clown brother, but this is just a taste of this. You can go to Kyle Kulinski's channel, Secular Talk, if you want to. I've showed you about half of this if you want to watch the whole thing. In terms of what Kyle Kulinski says here about the UK people being smarter, I think that's true. But, you also had Brexit and all that. But people in the UK, you've got a better healthcare system than us. You don't allow pharmaceutical drugs to be advertised on television and all that. So you are better in that regard. So I don't want to be critical of my UK friends. But again, people in the UK, those of us in the United States that haven't lived there, we don't really understand your system of governments compared to ours. So do you think this is possible? This clown, Andrew Tate, could he become prime? I mean, I could see if he were an American citizen, I could see it happening here possibly, because that's just where we are. I mean, we have a dumb electorate and we've elected Donald Trump twice. So anything is possible. I think Andrew Tate could possibly win an election here. But do you think he could become Prime Minister of England? Let me know in the comments what you think about this. Is this where we are in the world, that somebody like Andrew Tate, I mean, in a dumb country like mine, the United States, it can happen. But could he be Prime Minister of England? Let me know what you think of all of this in the comments. You don't have to be from the UK. You can be from anywhere to comment on this. If you like what I'm doing here on this channel, make sure to give me a like and subscribe. This is Chris on Culture. I'll see you in the next video.